The median United States homeowner net worth is $396,200. The median renter net worth is $10,400. On the left side of this massive gap, wealth accumulation. On the right side, financial stagnation. But this gap has almost nothing to do with the act of buying itself. Here's what it actually proves and why the math you've been told about renting versus buying is systematically incomplete. Inside this specific box, the real cost architecture that every home buyer faces but almost no one calculates completely. The PITI framework covers principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Underneath the surface layer sits a secondary cost structure that destroys the simple math. Compare these two models side by side. The visible costs versus the hidden costs. Look at the massive gap between this side and that side. A $70,000 down payment deployed into a broad market index fund with the S&P 500's historical compound annual growth rate of 10.5% becomes $496,000 over 25 years. That is the invisible opportunity cost every homebuyer permanently absorbs but never accounts for in their purchase calculation. Notice this bounded section right here. Transaction friction costs. The average American homeowner sells every 5 to 7 years according to National Association of Realtors data. Buying costs run 2 to 5% plus selling costs of 5 to 6% in agent commissions and transfer taxes. This means a home must appreciate 8 to 11% before breaking even on transaction costs alone. Before a homeowner earns a single dollar of appreciation, they must first recover this complete transaction cost stack. Moving down to the second layer, maintenance reality. The industry standard 1% annual maintenance rule is functionally outdated. Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies pegs realistic maintenance expenditure at 1.5 to 3% of home value annually, escalating with home age. On a $350,000 home, that equals $5,250 to $10,500 per year. Money that builds zero equity. Phase 1 begins now. The amortization illusion that governs how mortgage payments actually work. On a $280,000 loan at 7% fixed, month 1 interest equals $1,633. Month 1 principal equals $230. Read these exact words carefully. 87% of the first payment is pure interest, not equity building. Follow this curve upward as the months progress. In year 5, 74% is still interest. In year 10, 65% remains interest. The progress bar completes right here at year 18 where principal finally overtakes interest. The first 84 payments deliver more money to the bank than equity to the homeowner. The equity building narrative is backloaded by design, by the bank's design. This trend line shows the mathematical alternative. The opportunity cost engine running in parallel. Take that same $80,000 down payment and track the timeline from start to finish. At 10.5% compound annual growth rate, year 10 reaches $217,000. Year 20 hits $589,000. Year 30 crosses $1.6 million. This is not the renter's guaranteed outcome. This is the mathematical cost the homebuyer permanently absorbs by deploying capital into a down payment instead of financial markets. The numbers peaked right at this high point where compounding acceleration becomes exponential in the mortgage's later decades. But here's where the renter's mathematical model encounters its most dangerous variable. Look closely at this highlighted term. Behavioral gap. This is where the renter's theoretical advantage goes to die. Dalbar's quantitative analysis of investor behavior study tracked 30 years of data. Average retail investor annual return from 2003 to 2022 was 6.81% versus the S&P 500's 9.65% over the same period. A 2.84% behavioral gap driven by panic selling and market timing errors. Notice this percentage of renters who claim they will invest the difference but maintain consistent contribution discipline over a decade. Vanguard's research across 5 million accounts confirms fewer than 23% execute this strategy successfully. The renter's mathematical model is built on a behavioral assumption that most humans statistically fail to deliver. Inside this clean panel, the mortgage as a forced savings mechanism. When savings is automatic and structural, execution rates approach 95%. When savings requires monthly discretionary action, execution rates over 10 years fall below 23%. The behavioral problem has a structural solution, but it requires automation scheduled before the money becomes discretionary spending. This trend line drops straight down to zero when behavioral discipline fails. Compare these two diverging paths. The disciplined renter versus the average renter. The gap between them grows exponentially over 20 years, not linearly. The mortgage removes human decision failure from the wealth accumulation equation through forced monthly equity building. From step 1 down to step 3, the rent escalation trap that every renter faces. $2,000 monthly rent at 3.2% annual escalation based on Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index data. Year 5 reaches $2,340. Year 10 hits $2,730. Year 20 climbs to $3,713. Year 30 escalates to $5,060 per month. The fixed mortgage principal and interest remains $1,863, unchanged. At year 12, these two lines intersect. The renter's monthly payment surpasses the homeowner's payment permanently. From that crossover point forward, the fixed mortgage becomes an increasingly powerful hedge against inflation while rent continues its relentless upward march. The buy versus rent debate is not national. It is local. Inside these 6 bounded sections, the price-to-rent ratio determines which strategy wins mathematically. San Francisco shows a ratio of 33.3. Austin, Texas displays 21.7. Denver, Colorado measures 21.0. Phoenix, Arizona calculates 18.4. Memphis, Tennessee drops to 14.1. Cleveland, Ohio reaches 12.8. Notice this pattern across the grid. Price-to-rent ratios above 20 historically favor renting in the majority of modeled scenarios. Below 15 favors buying. The universal advice of always buy ignores a $1.8 trillion annual housing allocation error driven by geography blindness. What works in Cleveland fails catastrophically in San Francisco using identical analysis frameworks. This bold headline flashes on screen because it needs mathematical attention. 20% down payment equals 5-to-1 leverage ratio. When home prices appreciate 10%, the return on equity hits 50%. When home prices decline 10%, equity destruction reaches 50%. Leverage is a multiplier with no preference for direction. It amplifies gains and losses with equal mathematical precision. Underneath the surface layer of leverage mechanics, the 2008 to 2012 housing crisis demonstrated this at national scale. 9.3 million Americans experienced foreclosure or distressed sales. The same leverage mechanism that builds wealth during appreciation cycles destroys wealth during depreciation cycles. Both outcomes are embedded in the identical mathematical structure. The tax advantage of homeownership that convinced an entire generation to buy is now mathematically irrelevant for the overwhelming majority of Americans. The 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act increased the standard deduction to $27,700 for married couples in 2023. Only approximately 11% of U.S. taxpayers now itemize according to IRS statistics of income division data. The mortgage interest deduction's practical tax benefit for a median homebuyer equals approximately zero for 89% of Americans. Read these exact words. The foundational tax argument for homeownership has been structurally eliminated for nearly 9 out of 10 buyers. Capital gains exclusion of $250,000 single or $500,000 married remains a genuine tax advantage but only materializes upon sale after meeting the 2-year minimum occupancy requirement. From step 1 to step 5, the break-even decision matrix that determines when buying wins versus when renting wins. Under 4 years of occupancy, renting wins mathematically in 91% of modeled scenarios across U.S. markets. 4 to 7 years creates a statistical dead heat where local market conditions and behavioral execution dominate outcomes. 7+ years shows buying wins in 73% of historical U.S. market scenarios, driven by appreciation compounding and fixed payment stability. If we zoom into this isolated container, the intersection of multiple variables determines your optimal strategy. Mortgage rate scenarios from 5 to 8%. Home appreciation rates from 2 to 6% annually. Investment return rates from 7 to 12%. Rent inflation from 2 to 5% annually. Time horizon from 3 to 20 years. The verdict is locked inside each matrix cell based on your specific parameter combination. This mathematical intersection reveals whether your personal situation statistically favors buying or renting under current market conditions in your specific geographic market with your realistic time horizon and behavioral execution probability. Neither path is universally superior. Both paths are unforgiving to the person who executes them without discipline. The wealth gap between homeowners and renters in America is real, but it is not caused by the mortgage itself. It is caused by time in the asset, behavioral consistency, and the forced savings discipline that homeownership structurally enforces. Strip those variables out and both paths converge toward similar wealth accumulation outcomes. The question was never buy or rent. The question was always, what do you do after you decide? Will you maintain the discipline to invest systematically if you rent? Will you stay in the home long enough to recover transaction costs if you buy? Will you resist the urge to extract equity through cash-out refinancing or home equity lines of credit? The spreadsheet can model the math. It cannot model you. The question this analysis cannot answer for you, and the question that will determine whether your financial decision actually works, is this. Which version of yourself are you making this plan for? The disciplined version or the human version? Your answer to that question matters more than any interest rate, appreciation assumption, or rent escalation projection in determining your financial outcome over the next 20 years.